welcome to this video, guys. My name is Jurijs and I'm presenting today from the ScapersLounge in Hanau, Germany. Today's video is going to be a little bit special because you won't see myself scaping a tank, but my German colleague Adrie Baumann. He's one of the hardest working German aquascapers that I know.
I do round about 500 aquariums this year.
And number 500 or so, I think it was the last one he did, you can see behind me. And Adrie is going to take you through the creation process, explain all the technique and the materials he has used, so enjoy the workshop with Adrie.
Hi guys, my name is Adrie Baumann from Aquascaping Symphony. I am here today at ScapersLounge in Hanau, and I did the workshop, so you can see the tank behind me. This bonsai scape in an Oase Highline 300. Today we had a nice day with many visitors, and we made this nice scape. So I used in the beginning for the bottom some GBL Volcano for getting stable underground, and afterwards I used Tropica soil, the normal one and the powder one. The hardscape you see is some nice new rock from Amtra, so it's a kind of lava stone, and the bonsai trees are from Aquadeco, and these are artificial ones. Yes, I like them very much because they are looking very natural, so I like to use them because you can really build some nice forest looking scapes or something like this, so nice diorama style. So this was a very spontaneous scape, so I did not do any drawings or something else in the beginning, so I just came here and I selected my hardscape, so the stones and the trees. I used nice stones, so I tried to place them very natural, so afterwards I glued the bonsai trees onto the rocks so that they doesn't float, because they are not watered from the beginning. So, and I slowly created my landscape I wanted to do. So in the middle I've got some way with sand to the back side, so to get more depth into the aquarium. Afterwards I planted everything with different plants from Tropica. Maybe you asked yourself why I don't do any planning. So I'm a professional aquascaper, so this is my daily work. And because of this, for me it's only important to have nice materials, so nice hardscape, nice stones and nice wood or artificial things like those bonsais. And then it's possible for me to create something nice. For you it's maybe better to plan in the beginning. Maybe you do a planning for the layout, some drawings, or you place the hardscape before you put it into the aquarium, maybe somewhere on the ground, or maybe you have some space somewhere to do a hardscape dojo, so where you can place the hardscape in the beginning and then you can make a photo from this and place it afterwards into the aquarium. I just placed different sizes of the bonsai, so I used big ones in front, small one behind, so this is an easy way to create an aquascape which is just looking bigger than it is. As you can see, also the soil is very high in the backside, so in front it's very small, so very thin layer of soil, not so big. And also these are good tips for you to get more life and more depth into your aquarium. Also, if you look on the way, it's bright and it goes always smaller and smaller to the background or to the back wall. These are easy tips for you also to create an aquascape which looks bigger on a photo than it maybe is. I sprayed all the soil in the beginning before I start planting. So for me this is the easiest way to be sure that the plants will stay in the ground when I place them with a pin set. So I just tried this also in a completely dry way, but this doesn't work for me. So if you maybe look at some videos on YouTube or something else, you saw many different techniques. So every aquascaper has his own way to do this. So my way it is to spray everything very wet, because for me I got the best results that the plants stay in the soil where I want to have them. I'm placing the gravel and the sand also onto the soil, and often I get some questions, I'm afraid that this will mix up afterwards. So I'm pretty sure that it doesn't happen, maybe a little bit in the beginning, so the foreground plants will make a nice carpet and everything, and afterwards there is nearly no possibility for the soil to come through the sand or gravel. So my opinion, it's better to do it in this way. So I put the sand onto the soil to protect the soil of mixing up. So I glued the trees. Almost everyone knows that you can do this with super glue and some kind of cigarette filters or something else. So I tried a different style. So I just looked some videos on YouTube and I saw some guy from Japan, I think, so I'm not pretty sure, using toilet paper for this. Not everyone has got cigarette filters at home, so I tried it also to do this with some toilet paper, and I only can say that this works fantastic. So I did it in this scape, and in my opinion it works better than with cigarette filters. I would give you a tip to use really fluid super glue, not some gel, because you need a glue for the paper that it sucks up everything of the glue. As you can see, I just use a lot of different kind of plants. So I use plants for the foreground, I use plants for the background, also for some foreground plants on the trees, so not some moss or something else, because everyone who knows me, I'm not a guy who uses some small plant lists, but I use a very big range of different plants because I like the look in an aquarium when my eye can focus always something different of plants. So, and if you have got more plants, it's much more simple to create a good start with less algae or other problems. So in this way I use much more plants than maybe other scapers do. So for the foreground plants I used 4 different types. I used some Monte Carlo, I used some Jurijs Mini, I used Marsilea, and also foreground plant I use is HTC, but I didn't use it in the foreground. I use it on top of the trees because I like it very much when trees on the water have got real leaf. So many of you are using mosses or also different plants like some small anubias or some bucephalandra. I like the style if there's a real small leaf, and in my opinion the best plant for this is HCC. So in the foreground you see I mixed the foreground plants, so I put them on rendering the stones because I like the style very much, and afterwards I go to the different other plants I use. For example, I use some Pocostemon Helfrey, I use Rotala Bonsai, I use Starobuni repens, also something like Cryptocorinna pava. It's also more a foreground plant than for the middle part of an aquascape, but in this case I like this diorama style, and from the height the pava is also very nice here in the middle ground. And I try to do a look also afterwards, if it's grown in, that the plants go slowly higher, 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 so more they go into the background. So then completely for the background I use plants like Rotala Green and Rotala Vietnam Adria, and with those 2 plants I want to create something like forest in the background, so that you can imagine you have got some single trees in the foreground, and if you look wide into the scape, there starts some forest in the background. And I used Rotala Green because of a bright green color, and the Adria because of its nice red color, and you have got a very nice contrast if you put those 2 plants together. So you got this nice bright green and this very, very powerful red, and it makes an illusion for your eyes that it looks like wow factor. So the plants are looking great in this way when you combine them. So this is a diorama style aquarium, so not this typical nature aquarium. I try to use underwater plants which are looking similar to some plants you find in nature if you go to forests or somewhere in the mountains. And last but not least, we have some more plants I use. So I used some Anubias Petite, some Bucephalandra Spec Red. I used them on one side in front of the bonsai to hide a little bit those roots, because before I planted them in this way in front of the roots, it looks like the tree was levitating, so, and I didn't want that look because this doesn't look natural. So I placed it in the foreground to the roots, and now it looks like the roots are grown over stone where I placed some different plants. And also I used Anubias Petite in the same way. The last plant I planted was of course the HCC on the top of the trees. I always let around about a half centimeter of rock wool on the plants, and then I cut it in some portions, and yes, I put also always the small portions into the nice twigs and the small twigs between this, and there it can grow very nicely and it will overgrow the twigs, and after 3 or 4 weeks it looks like a real tree. Here you can also see that we are just filling up the tank, and maybe you're wondering why we use some paper towels into it. But this is very good way to fill up the aquarium to get yes, clear water immediately, because the water can sink slowly through the paper, and you nearly got clear water after this. So only if you do something wrong or the water comes too fast into the tank, something could be destroyed. But if you are careful, this is the best way, in my opinion, to fill up an aquarium. After this is filled up, of course, I will clean the glass and we'll take a look if there are some plants coming out or something. I will put them back, and yeah, the first maintenance will be, of course, many water changes. So the best way I do for myself, and which I always tell to my customers, is to do round about 3 or 4 water changes a week for the first 2 or 3 weeks. And it's very simple, it's not something difficult, so you don't have to clean your aquarium completely. You only have to do the big water changes from about 50 to maybe 80%. So it depends on, maybe if you have got some roots, give some maintenance to the water. I don't like brown water, maybe the most of you also doesn't like brown water, so do the big water changes. Maybe you can use some carbon into the filter. Also this will help to get more clear water. Also can give you the tip, start fertilizing immediately after filling up. So maybe not today, but tomorrow, and do not the complete dose, only do maybe a half dose on this, because it's very important, because it could be that the soil takes all the ferts from the water. So if you give some fertilizers every day to the water, you can be sure that the plants have got enough nutrition that they can grow. And afterwards, 3 weeks are over, everything is maybe growing in well. You have to think about the first fish, maybe shrimps, some snails, and this should be some algae eaters. And afterwards everything is fine. Maybe you wait 1 or 2 weeks more, then it's time to buy the fish you really want. I always start lighting with around about 6 hours a day for the first 2 weeks, and when everything grows well and there are no problems, I will hire the lighting every 2 weeks for 1 hour more, so that I get at least at 8 or 9 hours a day. So this is, for me, in my opinion, enough light for the plants. I start CO2 after 2 weeks. In my opinion, it makes for me the most sense, so my experience are the best with waiting 2 weeks, and afterwards take a look what I have got for plants, so that I know, okay, I need a lot of CO2 or less is enough. So maybe if I only have some small growing plants like Anubias and some ferns, I don't need that much CO2 in my tank. If I have got some foreground plants or some specific plants which will need a lot of CO2, of course I will give more CO2 onto the tank. Of course, nutrition levels are also, I think, very interesting for you. So at the most tanks I got some nutrition for potassiums. For example, I got around about 10 to 12 milligram per liter, and for CO2 20, 30, Maybe if you have got some plants which don't need that much, 10 to 15 is enough. But in my opinion, 20 to 30 makes really sense. And nitrogen, for example, I've got, yes, very high level, so almost always 20 to 30. And for phosphorus, for example, I also do this a little bit higher because for preventing green point algae, so green spot algae, so I always do around about 0.1 to 0.2. So, and the same for iron, there I always try to do is very low level because of preventing some red algae like beard algae or BBA or something else. So I just do a level from around about 0.05, and I think these are nutrition levels you get many success with. I enjoyed this workshop very much, so I think also the result is very nice, and I hope that the ScapersLounge has got a lot of fun with this tank. If you like to follow me, so take a look for Aquascaping Symphony. Most things I do on Instagram, some a little bit on Facebook, and of course I'm doing YouTube channel, so it would be an honor for me if you will follow me. If you like this video, please thumbs up, and I hope that you like this scape.
So guys, this is it. I hope you enjoyed the workshop with Adrie. I did so. I watched it like 5 hours in real time. This was the comprehensive version. If you want to see another workshop with another aquascaper, let me know down in the comments below, and I might go there and film this one for you. And if you want to see myself in action and you are from Germany, especially like Frankfurt and surrounding area, you have the opportunity to come here to the ScapersLounge on the 25th of January to join me for a workshop here. Beware, it's going to be in German language. So yeah, hopefully I'm gonna see you here very soon, and thank you for watching and see you next time.